Good morning, Elliot.
Good morning. How are you?
I am good. We're here today looking at how safe Israel is to travel in. It's a question that I'm asked a lot with the tours that we do. And so, Elliot, if you don't know him, is a major in the IDF, as well as a good friend that travels in and out of Israel and the U.S.
Yes.
So I want to ask him today, how safe is Israel to travel in? You know, we see different things. A couple of months ago was Gaza. A couple of years ago was Gaza.
Yes.
And then last week, what happened at the Lebanese border?
The Lebanese border, yes. Well, I would start by saying that there's no place that's perfectly safe. Not Israel, not the United States, not even Texas. One question is, how safe is it relative to other places? And the answer to that is extremely safe. You mentioned Gaza. I wouldn't travel to Gaza, because that's unsafe, but Gaza isn't part of Israel. Israel itself is very secure. Most Americans who travel to Israel come back saying they never felt safer than when they were there. And I think there's one really good reason for that, and that is that we take our security seriously. We don't mess around with it. Our security services, our police, the military, we know what's around us, and we deal with it up front without sort of sweeping things under the rug. So traveling in Israel, living in Israel in general, is very safe and very secure. I would add to that, and you mentioned the incidents, Gaza, the Lebanese border. Another aspect of safety is that when things happen, we know how to deal with it, and we get people out of the way. We don't just let things sort of roll. So, again, you see stuff on the news, and of course, incidents are over-reported in the news. Day-to-day is much more tranquil than what you're going to see on the news reports.
Sure. So tell me, one of the things I've told people, I've even been there when there's been rockets gone off, naturally, because in Israel, rockets go off sometimes on a daily basis.
Well, not anymore, but there was a period.
But I've never even known when they went off because of the Iron Dome, and people don't understand the Iron Dome because we don't have that here. So,
right. Well, I think that's a part of what I was referring to before, and taking it seriously. When we're faced with a threat, as we've been faced with a rocket threat, we've developed a technology and methods, because it's not just the technology, to deal with it in a way that'll keep the population as secure as you possibly can be under the circumstances. And that includes intercepting rockets. It includes a civil defense system that alerts people, tells them what to do, limiting the effect even when there is an incident. And in many ways that makes Israel, even when things happen, more secure than other places that when things happen nobody knows what's going on.
sure. I've told people, John and I were actually there when 4 rabbis were shot in the synagogue.
Right.
Back in November, and I checked, and there was 4 shot, and that was a tragic thing. But there was 23 shot in Chicago that same night.
Right.
So you know, I mean, that's when we look.
And that doesn't make headlines.
And it doesn't make headlines because it's not Israel.
Correct.
The other thing is we were actually in that community 4 days later at a scribe's house across from that synagogue, and you wouldn't have known anything ever happened other than military presence at the synagogue. And that's one thing I commend Israel for, is always having a presence. Even Ben Yehuda Street on when Shabbat is over and walk down there, I counted 23 military people just scattered around that night as I walked down.
And those are the ones you see.
So, well, thank you.
Thank you.
So if you want to know how safe Israel is, come with us and find out that you're even safer there than you are here in the United States.